After a month in the NICU, our Preemie finally came home. We placed a sweet "Shhh" baby sleeping sign on our lawn. Within hours, it was torn up and tossed in our driveway. That night, loud music blared from across the fence. At 3 a.m., I knocked on her door, barefoot, holding my screaming son. She opened it, looked at me, and said, "If you can't handle a little noise, you shouldn't be a parent." The next day, our fence was spray painted with "Unfit." My wife broke down. And that's when I sent the footage to every parent group in town. I'm Ryan. My wife Callie and I live just outside Dayton, Ohio. We bought our house 3 years ago after scraping together enough money. It's nothing fancy, but it's our home. Or at least, it was supposed to be. Our son, Owen, was born at 28 weeks. We weren't ready. He came out tiny and struggling. He spent 36 days in the NICU. I barely remember most of it because every day felt the same. Monitors beeping, nurses rushing, the awful smell of sanitizer, bad coffee, and the feeling like if you closed your eyes too long, you might never open them again. Callie took it even harder. I caught her once at 3 a.m., sitting in the car outside the hospital, screaming into a towel so no one could hear her. When Owen was finally cleared to come home, we were warned: no stress, no loud noises, no sudden shocks. His lungs were weak. He still needed oxygen sometimes. Every night was a battle to keep him calm. The day we brought him home, Callie painted a little wooden sign. "Shhh. Baby sleeping. Please be respectful." She decorated it with little stars and moons. She cried while she painted it. I think it made her feel like we were giving Owen a fair shot at peace. We put it right by the front path. That sign lasted less than 3 hours. I was upstairs setting up Owen's room when I heard Callie scream. Not a regular scream. That broken, sharp sound that makes your heart stop. I ran outside and found her standing on the porch, holding the sign. It had been yanked out of the ground and thrown into the driveway, snapped in two. She didn't say anything. She just held it and stared at me with tears in her eyes. I looked around. The only people outside were at the house next door. Tara. Tara was maybe mid-30s, rented the place, always had people over. Loud music, cars coming and going all night, trash left out on the curb for days. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but she and her friends had made jokes the day we brought Owen home. Stuff like, "Better invest in earplugs, ha!" and, "Guess the party's over now." I didn't want to believe someone could be that cruel. I told Callie to go inside. I picked up the broken pieces and threw them away. I should have known it wasn't going to stop there. That night was hell. Around 2:30 a.m., Owen woke up crying. I thought it was a regular wake-up until I heard it, music pounding through the walls. Bass so loud the picture frames on the nursery wall shook. I ran to the window. I could see flashing lights over the backyard fence. A full-blown party. It looked like a damn club over there. On a weeknight. Owen kept crying. His little face turned purple. I tried everything, rocking, feeding, changing. Callie was sitting on the floor sobbing quietly because she didn't want him to hear her cry. Something inside me broke. I grabbed Owen, wrapped him in his swaddle, pulled on a hoodie, and stormed out the back door. No shoes. Didn't care. I banged on Tara's front door with my fist until it rattled. It took her a minute, but she answered. She was drunk. Laughing. Lipstick smeared across her face. Holding a red cup that stank of cheap vodka. She looked me up and down. Messy hair, barefoot, clutching my screaming newborn, and rolled her eyes. "What do you want?" I kept my voice steady, but it felt like my hands were shaking. "My son just got out of the NICU. Please turn the music down. He can't handle this. He could end up back in the hospital." She leaned against the doorframe, smirking. "If you can't handle a little noise," she said, real slow and mean, "you shouldn't be a parent." Then she slammed the door in my face. I just stood there. I didn't even have shoes. Owen kept crying, shaking against my chest. I turned around and walked back through the cold grass, heart beating out of my chest. Callie met me at the door. She didn't even ask what happened. She could see it in my face. Next morning, I thought maybe she'd feel bad. Maybe she'd realize she crossed the line. Instead, we woke up to worse. Callie was the one who saw it first. She went out to throw away a dirty diaper and froze in the backyard. I heard her gasp, ran outside, and there it was, spray-painted in black across the shared fence, 3-foot-tall letters. Unfit. I swear it felt like my knees gave out for a second. Callie dropped to her knees, right there in the grass, sobbing so hard her whole body shook. She kept whispering, I'm sorry, like she had done something wrong. I held her while she cried, Owen bundled between us. My arms were shaking with rage. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something. Instead, I did something better. Tara didn't know that after she destroyed our sign, I had gone out and bought cameras. Good ones. I had cameras pointing at the driveway, the front yard, the backyard. Motion sensors, night vision, 24/7 recording. I had her on video. Pulling up the sign and tossing it. Partying until 4 a.m. Laughing with her friends about the whiny baby. Spray painting, unfit, in the middle of the night, drunk and giggling. I didn't say a word to her. Instead, I made a video. No music. No dramatic text. Just the raw clips, one after another. Easy to see. Easy to hear. I captioned it with a simple line. To the person who called us unfit parents because our son cried after surviving the NICU. This is who you really are. And I posted it. Everywhere. I posted it on the local parents' Facebook group, 2000 plus members. I posted it on Nextdoor. I sent it to the admin of the town's community board. I emailed it to the HOA president, even though we weren't technically in the HOA. I even sent it to a couple local mom bloggers who love a good story. And I waited. At first, it was quiet. Callie kept checking the posts every 5 minutes, wringing her hands. She kept saying maybe no one would care. Maybe it would just disappear. But by noon, the first comments started rolling in. And by 3 p.m., it exploded. Hundreds of comments. Hundreds of shares. Parents were furious. People called her cruel, heartless, a monster. One woman said, My son was in the NICU too. If someone had done this to me, I would have called the cops. Another posted, I don't even know these people, but I'm crying watching this. Someone from the town's biggest Facebook group posted her picture. Her full name. Her employer. Everything. It turned out Tara worked part-time at a local daycare. A daycare. Within hours, parents who had kids there started calling and emailing the owner, demanding to know why someone like Tara was around children. Sharing the video. Threatening to pull their kids out if Tara wasn't fired. The daycare owner, a woman named Mrs. Forrester, posted a public statement by that night. We were made aware of extremely disturbing behavior involving one of our employees. Effective immediately, Tara M. is no longer employed with us. We are heartbroken for the family involved and will be reaching out to offer support. That wasn't all. Later that evening, a police car showed up at her house. No sirens, but lights flashing. 2 officers got out, went up to her door. They talked for a long time. I don't know exactly what they said. They didn't come to our house that night, but it didn't look friendly. Tara was yelling, flapping her arms around, crying in her front yard while the whole neighborhood stared. After that, Tara's party stopped. Dead silent. No music. No visitors. She was scared. Good. She should have been. But it wasn't over yet. The next morning, I woke up to find a letter shoved into our mailbox. No stamp. No return address. It was scribbled in angry handwriting. You're ruining my life. I hope your sick kid dies. I sat down hard on the porch steps when I read it. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. I showed it to Callie. She turned white as a sheet. We called the police immediately. An officer came by and took the letter. He said they couldn't prove it was Tara unless they caught her in the act, but he promised to keep an eye on our street. After that, Callie wouldn't let me leave her alone even to run errands. She double-checked all the doors and windows 3 times before bed. Owen slept in a bassinet right next to our bed, and every little noise made us both jump. I hated it. I hated that she still had this kind of power over us. I wasn't done. I started gathering more. I asked neighbors if they had footage. Turns out, a bunch of them had videos of Tara's loud parties, people vomiting in yards, cars blocking driveways, trash thrown into the street. One woman had footage of Tara's dog running loose and biting another neighbor's kid. I put it all together in a new post. For those asking if this was a one-time mistake, here's what we've been living next to for the past year. More people got involved. Some of the older residents started a petition to have the landlord evict her. Turns out, the house wasn't even hers, she was renting month to month. The landlord was an older guy who lived 2 towns over. Someone, not me, but I'm glad they did, sent him everything. 2 days later, a notice to vacate showed up taped to Tara's front door. She had 30 days to get out. The day Tara saw that notice, she completely lost it. She started screaming in the street, throwing trash cans, kicking her own car. Neighbors came outside to watch. At one point, she screamed toward our house. "You think you're better than me? Your baby should have died." I heard it clear as day. So did about 15 other people. I called the police again. 2 squad cars showed up this time. Tara got cuffed right there on her front lawn, barefoot, mascara running down her face, still yelling. She was charged with disorderly conduct and making terroristic threats. Her court date was scheduled for 3 weeks later. Meanwhile, something weird started happening. Cards. Gifts. People leaving little things on our porch. Flowers. Baskets of food. Handmade blankets for Owen. Notes saying, "You're not alone," and "Your son is a fighter." Callie cried again, but this time it wasn't the broken kind of crying. It was the kind that washes some of the poison out. I didn't cry. But for the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was holding my breath anymore. Owen slept through the night 3 days in a row. I felt like maybe, just maybe, we were going to make it. You'd think that would be the end of it, right? Tara arrested, kicked out, everyone rallying around us. But no. It got worse before it got better. About a week after her arrest, I noticed a car I didn't recognize parked down the street. Beat-up old Honda, windows tinted way too dark for legal limits. At first I thought it was just some random visitor. But it kept showing up. Same car. Same spot. Different times of day. Sometimes late at night, sometimes early morning. Always idling, engine running. I started keeping a log. Times, dates, everything. Then one morning, I walked outside with Owen in the carrier, and I found it, a dead rat nailed to our mailbox. Nailed through the skull. Underneath it, taped to the box, was a handwritten note. "Snitches pay." I don't know how I kept from throwing up right there on the driveway. I went back inside so fast I almost fell. Callie took one look at my face and started crying without even knowing why. I called the cops again. They sent someone out, took the evidence, filed another report. The officer was blunt. "This is escalating. Get a restraining order." Now. Turns out, Tara wasn't working alone. She had a brother, Kenny, real piece of work. Rap sheet as long as your arm. Drugs, fights, vandalism. She must have called him after she lost her job and got evicted. He was the one watching the house. Trying to scare us. The police started patrols past our house more often. We installed even more cameras. I even bought one of those doorbell cams that alerts your phone when someone moves. We stopped leaving the house unless we had to. Callie's mom moved in with us for a while, just so someone else was always home. I hated living like that. I hated that my son's first few months home were filled with fear instead of peace. And deep down, I hated myself for not doing something sooner. Meanwhile, Tara's court date came. She showed up looking a mess. Black-eyed, probably from a fight, hair greasy, wearing a hoodie and ripped jeans. Nothing like the cocky drunk woman who slammed the door in my face that night. The courtroom was packed. Word had gotten around. Moms from the parenting group showed up. Neighbors showed up. Even Mrs. Forrester from the daycare showed up. Tara tried to play the victim. Cried to the judge about how the mean neighbors had ruined her life. How she was harassed online. How she lost everything because of one little mistake. She called me a liar. Said Callie, exaggerated, the danger to Owen. I thought I was going to stand up and start shouting, but the judge beat me to it. He cut her off mid-sob. I have seen the footage, he said. I have read the reports. You are not a victim here. Boom. Right there in court, the judge ordered a 2-year restraining order. Tara wasn't allowed within 500 feet of us, our house, or even Owen's future daycare once he got older. She was fined $3,500 too. And warned, if she or anyone associated with her harassed us again, she would face jail time. For the first time since this nightmare started, I felt the tension leave my body. I wasn't stupid. I knew Kenny might still try something. But the law was finally on our side. Callie hugged me so tight in the parking lot afterward I could barely breathe. But Tara wasn't done making her own life worse. The footage kept spreading. A local news station picked it up. Did a whole segment on community stands with NICU family against neighbor harassment. Tara's face. Her spray-painted graffiti. Her drunken laughing at 3 a.m. All of it on the 6 o'clock news. Nobody would rent to her. Nobody would hire her. Nobody wanted her in their neighborhood. Last I heard, she had to move 2 counties over, living with her brother, working under the table at some greasy bar. Good. Let her be someone else's problem now. But even with her gone, the scars stayed. Callie slept with a baseball bat by the bed for months. I checked the doors 3 times every night. Owen, he's stronger now, growing fast, but loud noises still make him flinch sometimes. We survived it. But it changed us. I thought we were done after the court date. I thought Tara would crawl away and stay gone. But I was wrong. One night, about 6 months after all this started, I got home late from work. It was raining hard, the roads were slick. I pulled into the driveway and noticed the front door was wide open. Wide open. I froze. Callie's car was there. Owen's stroller was tipped over just inside the hallway. I ran faster than I thought I could move. Heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst. Inside, the house was a mess. Couch cushions on the floor. Cabinets open. Callie was standing in the kitchen holding a knife, white as a sheet. Owen was screaming in his crib upstairs. I grabbed the baseball bat we kept by the door and swept the house room by room, but whoever had been there was already gone. We called the cops. When they showed up, they found muddy footprints leading from the back fence, across our yard, into the house. They took fingerprints. They pulled video from the cameras. And guess what? It wasn't Tara. It was Kenny. Her brother. Wearing a hoodie and gloves, but his face caught for a split second on the backyard cam. He had broken in while Callie was feeding Owen upstairs. He didn't take anything. He didn't even try to steal. He just wanted to scare us. That was it. I snapped. All that rage I'd swallowed for a year, the broken sign, the screaming music, the dead rat, the threats, the spray paint, the open hatred, it all poured out. I hired a lawyer. And I sued them both. Tara and Kenny. Civil court this time. For emotional distress. For property damage. For trespassing. For harassment. Every dollar they had, and it wasn't much, I went after it. Their cars? Liens placed. Their little bit of savings? Frozen. Their credit? Destroyed. Tara tried to cry again in court. Tried to say she was broke, tried to say she had nowhere to go, tried to say she was sorry now. Didn't matter. The judge ruled in our favor. Biggest win the lawyer had seen for something like this in years. Over $85,000. I knew we'd never see all of it. People like Tara and Kenny didn't exactly have stable jobs or bank accounts. But the lien would follow them. Every paycheck docked. Every tax refund seized. They'd never be free of us. The way we would never be free of what they did. And you know what? I made mistakes too. I should have stood up earlier. I should have gotten cameras sooner. I should have called the cops the first night instead of trying to be a good neighbor. Trying to be the bigger person almost destroyed my family. Never again. Today, Owen is 2 years old. Strong. Loud. Healthy. Every time he laughs, every time he runs through the house yelling, it feels like a little bit of the poison drains out of me. We moved 2 towns over a few months after the lawsuits ended. New house. New neighbors. Big yard. Quiet street. No signs needed. But just in case. There's a camera on every corner. And a bat by every door.